On May 16, in Lianyungang, Jiangsu, a blogger known as Rampage Brother posted a video claiming that he encountered a ghost scale, or otherwise known as a rigged scale, while buying seafood at the Lianyungang Seafood and Vegetable Direct Sales Market. He alleged that market staff forcibly took his phone and demanded the video be deleted.
What are you doing?
You shortchanged me. You asked what I want. I want to teach you a lesson.
Who do you think you are to teach me a lesson?
Because you shortchanged me. The incident began when Rampage Brother went to the market to buy seafood. The shrimp he bought weighed less than what he paid for. The scale shows 630 grams for a 500-gram standard weight, confirming the blogger's suspicion of a ghost scale that could easily be manipulated by the seller. When confronted, the female vendor denied any wrongdoing while trying to seize the evidence. She even used diversion tactics to get rid of the scale. Upon returning to retrieve the ghost scale, Rampage Brother found it had been taken by other vendors. Frustrated by the female vendor's insults, he decided to report the incident to market management, only to face further harassment. Market staff demanded the deletion of the video evidence. When he refused, a mysterious man restrained Rampage Brother's cameraman, followed by several people chasing and blocking him. Fortunately, he managed to escape. On May 17th, the Haizhou District Joint Investigation Team released a report stating that the vendor, Shu, was found guilty of shortchanging customers. Legal action was taken against both the vendor and the market organizers, leading to the dismissal of the market employee by the name of Chao. The incident garnered significant attention online, making the market a hotspot for live streamers. Many people commented that shortchanging customers is a widespread issue in the market. Some questioned the complicity of market managers with the vendors, leading to the escalation of the incident. Due to public pressure, the Haizhou District Joint Investigation Team issued another statement on May 19th, imposing a 30,000 yuan fine on the vendor Shu and a 350,000 yuan fine on the market organizers. The market staff and the involved vendor, who engaged in behavior violating public security regulations, were also placed under administrative detention. Rampage Brother became popular online through his anti-fraud videos. As of May 17, 2024, they have amassed 2.88 million followers. In March 2023, Rampage Brothers released their first anti-fraud video, quickly gaining popularity online due to their exposure of an 8-ounce ghost scale. Within a few months, their follower count soared to over 1 million. Rampage Brother primarily targets merchants using ghost scales, including fruit stalls, snack vendors, and gold recycling shops. Their videos also cover issues like utensil fees and the takeout industry. On January 28, 2024, Rampage Brother released a shocking video about a ghost scale in a gold recycling shop in Hangzhou. In the video, the shop's scale showed a gold item weighing 62.15 grams, while his own scale showed 77.72 grams, a discrepancy of 15.57 grams. At the shop's buyback rate of 460 yuan per gram, this difference amounted to over 7,000 yuan. When the fraud was exposed, the shop owner smashed Rampage Brothers' electronic scale in gold to the ground, threatening to call the police, and recorded him, threatening to share the footage with other vendors. During their call to the police, the shop owner continued to hurl insults. The regulatory authority arrived at the scene and used Rampage Brothers' video as evidence to seal the shop. The shop's electronic scale was inspected and found out to be non-compliant. The shop owner was administratively detained for 6 days for damaging Rampage Brothers' personal property. Before the Lianyungang ghost scale incident had settled, another anti-fraud blogger posted a video stating that he also encountered shortchanging while buying fish at the Dongshan Second Agriculture Market in Nanjing. The market staff forcibly took and threw out his phone. On the morning of May 18th, at around 8 a.m., the anti-frauder blogger Black and White 12 posted a video on a short video platform showing his encounter with a ghost scale in Nanjing on April 22nd. In the video, you could see the blogger buying fish at the Dongshan Second Agriculture Market in Nanjing. Suspecting the weight was incorrect, he used a market standard scale and discovered the fish was 150 grams lighter than what the vendor told him. He confronted the vendor, who admitted the scale was rigged to have it weigh more than it is. The blogger then took the vendor to the market management. Unexpectedly, the market manager yelled at the blogger, "Get lost, stop being an eyesore." During the argument, the market manager noticed someone in the blogger's team recording with a phone. The manager rushed over, snatched the phone, smashed it to the ground, and said, "Call the police? Compensating you for a phone is nothing. We'll show you what's what later." The video triggered an outcry from people online who commented on the prevalence of ghost skills in the market. Some questioned the deeper issue, asking where the real problem lay, not just in the vendor scales, but also in the offices of the market managers. As the incident gained traction, the Nanjing Jiangning District Joint Investigation Team released a report stating that on May 18th, people reported through social media that a vendor at a local market was caught shortchanging customers, and market management staff forcibly seized and smashed a customer's phone. An investigation into the incident was initiated. Currently, the market management and the involved vendor are under investigation, and the vendor has been expelled from the market. Ghost skills refer to electronic pricing skills that have been illegally modified so that the displayed weight is higher than the actual weight, allowing vendors to overcharge customers. These scales appear normal under typical conditions but can be manipulated through hidden operations like entering a code or using specific button combinations. The ghost scale incident is not isolated. Similar fraudulent activities frequently occur in different regions, causing significant inconvenience and losses for consumers. In another incident on May 6th, the topic "Beggar's chicken is not chicken" trended on social media. According to Tide News, on the afternoon of May 1st, a blogger and his family visited Hefang Street and bought 3 beggar's chickens from a stinky tofu shop in Changsha. Beggar's chicken is a Chinese dish that is stuffed and baked. They ate one on the spot and took the other 2 home. At home, when the blogger opened one of the remaining chickens, he found it containing only soil, no chicken. He recorded the video while opening the last one, finding it also had no chicken. The video quickly went viral, with people commenting, "2 out of 3 were wrong. Absurd. And beggar's chicken can lack beggars, but it can't lack chicken." Others suggested it might have been an honest mistake by the vendor and didn't warrant such an uproar. Despite these incidents, the government and authorities often impose restrictions and criticize the consumers and individuals who expose these issues instead of improving regulatory oversight. Are they really going to crack down on professional anti-fraud activists? Recently, the anti-fraud activities of Rampage Brother have drawn significant attention. Not only did China National Radio report on it, but CCTV's news channel also dedicated a special episode of News 1+1 on this issue. On May 11th, according to Jimu News, Wang Bo, a representative of the Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region People's Congress, made an important suggestion. He proposed that the autonomous region should quickly introduce policies to restrict professional anti-fraud activists and further limit their malicious reports and complaints. On May 21st, the official account of China Food newspaper published a message stating that actions driven primarily by profiteering should be excluded from the scope of normal consumer anti-fraud activities. It's truly absurd how, in such a country, the response to problems is not to solve them, but to target the people who expose them. It's really astonishing that China National Radio commented on anti-fraud influencers twice, accusing them of phishing-style anti-fraud, essentially saying that they knowingly target issues to expose them. I have to question the market supervision departments. These anti-fraud activities by influencers aren't new. So where has the supervision been for such basic issues as shortchanging? Shouldn't the public hold you accountable? It's disappointing that the entire report did not directly point out the flaws in the regulatory bodies, but instead used terms like "stay vigilant" and "provide instant feedback." It seems like an excuse, claiming a lack of manpower. Then hire more people. Our country has no shortage of people, and corruption has been heavily targeted recently. Imagine if the funds from corruption were used to address market issues, which impacts people's basic livelihood, clothing, and shelter. Then there wouldn't be so many complaints. Influencers engage in anti-fraud activities for traffic, but the traffic comes from the public. To most people, these anti-fraud influencers are enforcers and supervisors. The more intense and lasting their anti-fraud efforts are, the healthier the market atmosphere becomes. Don't say influencers do it for money. Whether to trust it or not is up to you. On May 19th in Wuhan, Hubei, people in the Jiang'an area presented banners to vendors. The banners had large characters saying, "Market tyrants, vegetable tyrants, bullying the market." One person commented, "At first, I thought the market management was different from others. Another person said, "The video is only a few seconds long, but it leaves a deep impression. The invited aunties were all wearing uniform red outfits, banging drums and gongs, creating a festive atmosphere. At first glance, it looked like a celebration. But upon closer inspection, the bright red banner with the words "Market Tyrants, Vegetable Tyrants, Bullying the Market" created a stark contrast with the cheerful atmosphere, making people laugh while also feeling the helpless struggle and bitterness of the vendors. When the vendors handed the banner to the market management staff, their expressions were telling. From initial shock to later embarrassment and finally helplessness, those few seconds felt like an emotional roller coaster. This video caught attention not only for its ironic creativity, but also because it accurately captured the survival difficulties and protest wisdom of the lower class people in Chinese society. In the face of strong authority, they cannot confront directly and can only use such indirect methods to express their demands and fight for their rights. The disadvantaged groups continuously innovate protest methods to more effectively protect their rights. After more than 40 years of reform and opening up, China's economy has become the second largest in the world. However, the prioritization of money, rampant selfishness, fraud, bullying, dishonesty, fake news, corruption, bribery, moral decay, shamelessness, and distorted human relations have increasingly pervaded every inch of society and every group. It's not an exaggeration to say that today's China is rife with chaos and on the brink of collapse. A significant reason for this situation is the loss of traditional virtues. In any era and any country, morality is a foundation for maintaining the normal operation of society. China has been known as a land of etiquette since ancient times, with its people renowned for their focus on self-cultivation and morality. For thousands of years, traditional values like respecting the elderly, loving the young, honesty, kindness, bravery, loyalty, and taking responsibility for the world have shaped their ancestors' hearts and helped keep Chinese society stable and growing. The issues are not just about short-weighted ghost scales, but especially about food safety, which instead of improving, has shockingly regressed. Food safety incidents are becoming more frequent and prominent. Things like toxic milk powder, lean meat powder, colored buns, gutter oil are making people constantly worry and fearful, even to the point of making people anxious about eating. Some Chinese people joke that Chinese people have learned chemistry through food. From rice, we learned about paraffin wax. From ham, we learned about dichlorvose. From salted duck eggs and chili sauce, we learned about Sudan stain. From hot pot, we learned about formalin. From white fungus and dried dates, we learned about sulfur. And from black fungus, we learned about copper sulfate. At first glance, you might think it's a garbage dump, but it's actually a meat processing factory. The rotting pork from dead pigs processed here will eventually make its way to markets. In what form will it reach consumers? Could it be processed into sausages, meatballs, ham, and other prepared foods? These heartless merchants have always existed, willing to do anything for money. In Guangzhou, Fujian, at breakfast shops, ingredients were spilled all over the ground, and the staff used both hands to put them back into the bucket. Foreigners drink milk and become stronger, but Chinese people drink milk and get kidney stones. The Japanese slogan is, "A glass of milk a day invigorates a nation." The Chinese slogan, "A glass of milk a day shocks a nation." It's no exaggeration to say that food safety has become the sword of Damocles hanging over the Chinese nation. In comparison, although there were dishonest merchants in ancient times, their worst offenses were shortchanging customers. Ancient merchants did not hide their profit motives. However, they valued righteousness and profit equally. Profits had to be attained justly and by reasonable means, adhering to the norms of righteousness. To do this, they emphasized honesty and integrity. This approach was considered the right path and led to good business. In contrast, those who made profits through deception, shortchanging, counterfeiting, and force were despised by honest merchants. Unfortunately, these ancient business virtues have long been discarded by Chinese merchants of today. To make a profit, many food producers and sellers blatantly harm consumer interests and even disregard consumer health and lives using all kinds of deceitful means. Sadly, due to the Communist Party's relentless destruction of traditional culture, these virtues have almost disappeared in today's China. The Chinese nation is facing an unprecedented moral crisis. Without the constraints of traditional morality, Chinese people fear nothing and dare to do anything. Under such conditions, will society not descend into chaos?